The Whine and Cheese show is a Metaverse and NFT discussion interview series brought to you by Upland Development United and the host BEN68 and Morecheese. Warning, the information and opinions within are solely the views of the individuals involved, contains content not suitable for anyone.
Hello and welcome to Season 1, Episode 6 of the Whine and Cheese in the Metaverses show. I'm BEN68 and today Morecheeese and I spoke to the sedulous Left Army Generals, LeftHouse and Emmet E. Left.
There are so many things to talk about with Left and Emmet today that we will most likely need a second sit down with them. We went over the Action Family Club card and cartoon series that is coming out before this month is up. So go check out the LeftHouse server to sign up for that and go get yourself a club card. We also talked some Upland and what he's been up to there and his NFT movies.
So get ready to take a big jump to the left and thrust your horrendous pelvis along to what might be the shittiest episode yet.
Of the worst show ever.
Whine and cheese. Time for wine and cheese. Wine and cheese. Time for wine and cheese. Cheese. One is a wanker, one's like its tongues. One's from Australia, one's from the Bronx. Talking about the Metaverse and NFTs. Interviewing all the real crypto G's.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, today's going to be a good one. Today's going to be a weird one. Weird, good, unique, horrendous.
We shall see. We shall see.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff to talk about, but I always kind of take over the beginnings. If you're okay with it, I'll just start off. But if you have something you wanna,
No, get into it. I'll just pitch in when there's an opportunity.
all right. So the Forsaken game, newest thing on everybody's lips. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's excited about it. The trailer's really cool. Have you seen the trailer, Ben?
No, I haven't. No,
I'll
I've
send
only
it to
seen
you
the
after.
links that have been pinned around everywhere.
The trailer's really cool. It's what really motivated everybody actually, and they did a great job on that.
Now, is there a game there, or is this a preview of something in progress? Or
Well, the game I actually went to last night. It took me a while to find it. So if anything, if you're watching Forsaken, make it a little bit more accessible. I went to the main website and I was able to see all the stuff, but like a lot of it's not finished yet. So I searched their Discord for a bunch of links and I finally found one that worked. Well, not that worked, they all work, but it brought me to where I wanted to go, which was the email sign up page. And basically I signed up, I made my name, put my email address, and they sent it to me right away. I clicked in, downloaded the game, and it took like a little bit of time. But once I got in, I was able to play something, which is cool. Like,
yeah, that's very
at
cool.
this point, yeah,
Yeah.
most people don't have anything going on at this point, but they had something you could at least look at, if not play right away. It gave me the option to invite people in, but if I just pressed play, it would match me with somebody. It tried matching me for a while, but I guess nobody's in there yet because it's too new. So I
Yeah.
guess if nobody joins in, it just kind of kicks you out and puts you back into the lobby. But
Yeah,
it was nice that I could get in there.
Yeah, it's hard to get those kind of P2P games established at the start when there's not enough of a play base there. But that's good that they've got something up and running. I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only person who's a bit gun shy of getting too heavily involved in projects that don't have anything, substantial going yet. So no, that sounds cool.
Exactly, I agree. So what else is cool is they have a voting system out right now. I just found out about it a day or two ago, and they have some of our favorite people on there that we can vote for. Once they're voted in, there's going to be different voting levels. So once you get past this, you're going to go to the next voting level. So it's going to get more and more difficult to
It's
kind
like
of
a knockout system, isn't it? Almost.
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
almost exactly. Yeah. And just to name a few, we have the Nasty Hooks, which everybody should vote for. We have Metaverse, who everybody should vote for. Tales from the Crypto, which I'm heavily invested in Tales from the Crypto and the Ashiki Arata, which is Arata Digital. They both make amazing NFTs that are also stakeable in Wax Arena, and Wax Arena's on there as well. So this will be kind of like double dipping. Like, you ever see that Seinfeld show where he's at the funeral and he takes the shrimp and he dips it and then he dips it again, and it's the whole thing about you double dipped. Well, they're double dipping and it's in a positive way.
Well, that's good though, because it's your NFTs aren't being locked up into one project. So yeah, no, that's really cool.
Exactly.
I think I got the link from Stirs Merlin, so I jumped in to vote for the Nasty Hooks, and I was at work at the time, so I probably shouldn't have been on the phone, but I did a few clicks, but the verification process there was a bloody nightmare. So I had to say, oh, hang on, I'll get back to you. And then once I was home, I went through the verification, and yeah, I'd kind of already voted for the Nasty Hooks before I had a good look through the list, and I'm like, geez, there's a ton of good projects here.
There's a lot.
You can only vote for one though, right?
No, you could vote for as many as you want. I mean, okay. Fazzle's in there from Online In with the Aether Faucet.
Yep.
Uplift World is in there. Then let's see, there's Green Rabbit and Kyle Loza is in there. Green Rabbit has an impressive number of votes.
Yep.
No one messaged us.
No. Oh well, I'll have to go back and have a look then, because there's a lot of friends of the Whine and Cheese show in there that we gotta throw some love at.
Exactly. Next time we'll get it. Next time, maybe. Or maybe we're too new. But that would be so cool,
yes.
to get something like that going. They have Upland cards in there as well, but I mean, they have decent votes, but nothing really to write home about.
That's strange that Upland themselves haven't pushed that. I wonder
a lot
who
of people
submitted.
Don't know.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know. Like, I know, I think even Ashiki Arata from Arata Digital was like, "Oh, we're in there," because I know they must have grabbed a bunch of people from the Online In or Wax Arena or whatnot. And
so was it community nominated or something? Was it?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that'd make sense then. Cool. Speaking of Wax Arena, do we want to dig into that?
Yeah, I want to know. You're supposed to tell me.
Well, I remember you first mentioned it because you said, I've got a lot of NFTs there, so I jumped on over, and I'll just bring that up here. So yeah, it turns out I do have, what have I got? 215 Ultra Horrors, 9 Tales of the Crypto, and just a scattering of other ones. Now, I think up here it says that I'm earning, what is that? 1,000.
Well, that's how much.
Oh, that's my balance. Yeah.
Go to the red one and hover over that, the 65.
Actually,
you really need to bring that up. Yeah, you need to bring that up.
But what can you do with it? Like, I see there's like all different like characters and stuff you can open, but I couldn't see how to get it. The only thing I could see was there's some upgrade NFTs. I've got a few of those.
Well, that's the Wax Arena. If you go into Marketplace and you go to Wax Arena, you can actually purchase some characters.
Yeah, well, like so you can't purchase anything on the actual Wax Arena site. Like, I've clicked on here, and there's no characters. Blah blah blah.
And this is just to upgrade your characters.
Yeah, I just grabbed a few of these because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So it all has to go through Wax Arena. Sorry, Atomic Hub, is it? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'll have to look into that a bit further. Oh, what's your rate? What are you on?
I'll share it with you because mine is very impressive. Let me take this tab out and do it like that.
So what's your biggest holdings that are generating you the most?
That would have to be definitely Tales of the Crypto, and then second is Errata Digital.
Cool.
This, you see it?
It's just coming up. Yep. Oh, that's right. You've got heaps of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot.
Very cool.
So this is my passive PowerPoints. So the passive PowerPoints you can use towards your character, which let me go to that right now.
Yeah, so the website's not very, it's not very fleshed out for people who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I really had to go through like every little thing to kind of.
See, this is what I want to get into, you know. I want to get into that stuff. Okay, so I got to go and buy a character on Atomic Hub, and then once I have that, I can come back and do the upgrades and stuff within the website.
Let me know if it's expensive. I could probably lend you my Unliving guy. He looks so cool.
Do you know what the current rates are for a secondary character? Oh, are you buying them from?
I bought them secondary. They were cheap. Like at the time, this was still not really as flushed out as it is now. So I think I got my Unliving for maybe 10 wax, and the robot was a lot more because I got him at level 3.
So did they have some kind of pack drop or something that we missed out on?
Yeah, we missed out on it. Yeah.
But if it's only that, it's not too bad. Yeah, what's your rate cover over that?
0.73, baby.
Jeez, that's like 10x of what I got.
Yeah. And with the Alcor, it's I think it's about 0.20 at least per AEXP on Alcor for wax, which is really good.
All right, I'm going to have to dive into this a bit deeper, and I'll probably pick your brain.
Oh, yeah.
For the roadblock. And it's one of those things that I do a bunch of stuff, for the Udo or whatever else, and I'm about to turn my laptop off, and then I think, oh, hang on a minute, I wanted to check that out. So I've never actually sat down and put much time into it, but obviously it looks like something I'd enjoy, so I've got to devote a bit of time to sort and roll out.
I'd say be a little bit more active, and this goes to anybody in the Tales of the Crypto website. They're very awesome in the fact that they have a lot of contests, they have a lot of giveaways, they're very active with their community, very friendly people. I got a great amount of my NFTs through contests of theirs.
Yeah, you're always winning stuff there.
Oh yeah, and it's like right before they do a drop, they give out a bunch of wax too. So it's like it's a very give and take with them.
No.
Yeah.
The other project that caught my eye this week, if you want to stop your screen share, I'll bring up mine again. Was I just happened to be scrolling through my 68 NFTs on Atomic Hub, and I came across this one, which was, let me see, work. Oh, I came across an Iron Maiden-y one. Oh, hang on, look, my computer's going to die.
No.
I was having laptop troubles in the last Udo meeting, so I might disappear here for a second. I don't know, it might take a little shot. But yeah, anyway, I came across these Iron Maiden NFTs, and like that was one of the first bands I ever got into as a young teenage tearaway. So, and I'm still a mad fan. So yeah, I came across these, and I did a bit of backtracking, and I found that there was an entire. Hang on, I'll go back again. I'm going. Come on, laptop. Yeah, this one here. I come across this, the Number of the Beast, number 68.
Oh, nice.
Number 68. So So I was pretty stoked to get that. And
That's really cool.
yeah, I did a bit of backtracking and found out that they had an entire pack drop system and all sorts of stuff sorted out, which, the artwork on it looks really cool.
All right. So that reminded me, they also do have Iron Maiden Funko in this voting thing in
Really?
Forsaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I voted for it thinking of you in mind, because I remember you mentioned it. And they only have 33 votes. They're in the same one as Wax Arena.
Yeah, it must be a community voted system, because we know the Iron Maiden fan base is massive. So I don't know what percentage of that would be interested in NFTs, but even if it was a small percentage, you'd still be looking at a very large number. But yeah, so I found my way over here and found Buy Your Packs. But of course, as with most of these things, they sell out pretty quick.
Yeah.
I believe the smallest packs were selling for $10 US.
That's not bad.
I don't know, my computer's not going to load. Oh, here we go. Where are we? If I'm remembering correctly. Okay. So there's a whole bunch of different rarities and stuff like that, as we expect with an NFT thing. But yeah, I'll get rid of that because my computer's playing up. But yeah, I saw the packs were $10, and then I thought, oh, well, I'll go over to Atomic Hub and see what they're like on the secondary. And I was very surprised to see, even still now, the standard packs are, what's that, $12 basically. So I grabbed 5 packs that were between $10 and $12, which is, it's only $2 over the release price, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, that's
so
really good.
If you're interested in Iron Maiden, grab some more you can. What's there now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's like a dozen that are only $2 above the release. I grabbed 5 packs, opened up a bunch, and I sent you a couple of my doubles because I know you're a bit of a fan as well.
Yes, thank you for that. That was nice.
But yeah, so I was pretty happy with that, and I got a couple of cool ones. But yeah, that was definitely my favourite, the 68 number of the beast one. What else did I get? There's another one there that I liked. Killer's Eddie, of course, that's a classic one. And Somewhere in Time one, I thought that one looked really cool as well. Apparently, this is the best one I've got. Freddy Funko, but I don't know. I wasn't real thrilled with that one, but apparently that's the best one I've got. Oh, and the Seventh Son of the Seventh Son one, that was really cool as well. I think that was one of the ones I sent.
I wonder how much of a opportunity this would be for people who run NFTs to kind of like reach out to these really popular old time music artists and just say, hey, listen, there's this new thing out. If you don't know how to do it, I'll totally partner with you, bring you out there, do it for you. And, it's a great way for both people to kind of get their stuff out to the newer community, and for an entrepreneur to kind of get their feet wet
especially those kind of old school metal bands that were all about that imagery. Think of bands like King Diamond or Megadeth, even Metallica, not so much, but yeah, there's a lot of those bands that make the bulk of their money on merch. Think of the people that have spent money on Iron Maiden shirts or Megadeth shirts and things like that.
Kiss, I know the guy there. He's such a opportunist. The guy with the tongue.
Simmons, yeah.
Simmons, yeah. He he's looking for any opportunity to kind of put himself out there.
Yes, it's probably a case of OK Boomer, getting the OK Boomers on board. I know I listened to a recent Joe Rogan podcast, and the guest on there was trying to get him involved in NFTs, and Joe Rogan, he just couldn't get his head around an NFT. He's like, what the hell is all this shit? And he's like, I don't want to be involved in this. And it wasn't until Jamie said, well, the game Ready Player One, and Joe's like, yeah. He's like, well, that's how NFTs is how you're going to own things in that world. And then kind of the light bulb went off. And he's like, but I'm still not going to do it, blah, blah, blah. So,
he'll do it. He'll do it.
Yeah.
You called me Joe Rogan once.
Yeah, what was that for? I remember that.
I don't know the guy. And
But to be fair, I call you lots of mean things. I'm a bit of a prick.
Was that mean? I didn't even know that was mean. You
I don't know.
You could have put it off as a compliment.
I just assumed so. Maybe it's because you're hustling or something. I'm not sure.
I'm so hostile. I'm such a mean person.
Where are our guests? Is he knocked on the door yet, or is he AWOL? He's not hanging. He's not hanging in the lounge, is he?
Where you at,
Otherwise we'll keep blabbing on.
brother?
Oh, one of the things I did want to talk to you, which we've never really discussed in much detail at all, is how I know you're in real life world. You're heavily involved in trading and that sort of stuff, and you have a long history of that. What are your do you play around with crypto much?
Not really. I mean, I was heavy in Doge when it was like 0.02, and I sold off at around 0.36, and then I decided to get back in when it went back to 0.16 when it went lower to 0.12, and then I sold again at 0.24. It's I do have stuff that I hold, but for the most part, I am an options trader. I am a day trader, so I do kind of do the flips. If there was some big kind of like the saying goes, like a good market will make crypto do good. A bad market will make crypto do better.
Yep.
So, we just need a really bad market. You just need to know how to play it both ways. Like if you're in a situation where the economy is good, then you buy calls. If you're in a situation where the economy is bad, then you sell calls. You can't lose. It's easy money.
Yeah, I haven't played around a lot. I kind of played around a lot in the 2017, 2018 kind of boom and bust situation. But yeah, a lot of people nowadays are praying for another big pump. I'm praying for more blood. I want to buy more.
Yeah, blood in the street. That's when you buy.
Yeah, especially because there's several projects that I got in really early with, like Engine would be a classic one. I got involved in that really early on and had a nice juicy bag, but then I sold out of that decent profit, and I actually put a lot into UpX, which that may prove to be a bit of a dud move, but yeah, I'm definitely looking to buy back in there.
I hope not, Ben.
Yeah, I actually kind of half screwed myself because I had, like I said, I had a decent bag, and I went to transfer. I wanted to transfer half over to an exchange to take some profits, but something happened, and you know what Ethereum's like. Sometimes you can be sitting for days waiting for transfers to go through, and I got a message that the transaction had failed, like it hadn't gone through. So I sent the other half of the bag, and then it turned out that both went through. So rather than get stung with the fees and all that sort of stuff, I ended up just, while I had it all on the exchange and the rate was good, so I sold out of the whole lot, which I was kicking myself in the end. But you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, just win more than you lose, and you're okay.
Yes. Until the tax man comes knocking, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, make sure you put your percentages on the side for every win.
Yep.
Like Excel sheets are very important for stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I think I've got old diary. I've got a 2017 diary, 2018 diary. It didn't do much in 19 and 20, but yeah, those first early diaries are filled up with notes and figures and this, that, and the other things. So.
That's perfect, as long as you're prepared.
Cool. It looks like our guest is here.
Welcome to the worst show ever, LeftHouse.
Looks like Stun Mullet. See you live.
I don't know.
That's how I should look. It's like 4 a.m. for me. That's how I should look. Oh, he's gone. What's happening?
He's gone,
He
but
died.
his brother's coming in. I think they're both the same people.
He's just got a really good mask.
Hello.
Hello.
Mr. Emmet, how are we doing?
Good. How are you?
Not
Aw.
too bad.
Your brother was here and then he left and then you showed up. So we're convinced you guys are the same people.
That'd be amazing.
Bounce.
So
So
he
yeah.
just popped in and out, or what happened? You guys already
Yeah,
chatted with
he
him?
had a very confused look on his face. He was staring at the screen and then he disappeared.
Okay, I'll let him know. I made if he's coming back.
Yeah, we told him you guys could be a ceiling cat because we do kind of like a little spiel in the beginning where we just talk about a bunch of like nonsense and then we let you guys in, but we usually let the guests kind of eavesdrop on it.
Yeah.
So,
That sounds good.
yeah. So, I mean, now the pressure's on you. You have to answer every question we had for LeftHouse.
Oh my goodness.
So how does it feel being LeftHouse? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, he's a little taller than I am, and no,
Yeah, he's a pretty tall guy.
yeah.
I used to be,
I did see that LeftHouse got involved in Upland in April of 2020. When did you get involved, Emmet?
He had been telling me ever since he kind of got involved in Upland, and I was slow to it. He kind of had to, I think I logged in and was a visitor at first, and then I kind of lost that, after a week of kind of inactivity, and then he just kept shouting at me and started doing the show and everything, and so I was like, all right, I'll hop in, and hopped in and got a couple places over in Dogpatch and started to navigate a little bit. San Francisco. I stayed in San Francisco until Chicago opened, basically.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Just roaming around. Kind of have a little spot down there on Dublin Street that I found that's like my favorite little spot that I got. And brother started to like buy the whole block out basically, and so now we have a great location over there on Dublin Street, little block party.
That's cool.
Yeah, and we got our older brother into it, and yeah, so it's a family affair for sure.
That's cool. You guys are so close.
Yeah, I mean it's funny because Brian and my older brother Luke, Fading Armageddon, we all have different moms. Well, they have the same mom. I have a different mom. But yeah, we've always just had a great connection with both of them, and it's amazing to like moving from Chicago out to California was partly because Brian was out here, because LeftHouse is out here, and he had been working on releasing music and films and DJing, and he's just nonstop with his creative juices and just really pushing hard to make that his life basically, and so coming out here and getting involved in some of the projects that he was working on, and it's a big motivation for sure to bring. I mean, I came out here with my lady and our 3 kids, and so it was a big move for us for sure, but very happy we made it. Now we've been out here for like 10 years, 12 years almost, I think, and yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I come from a very staggered family as well. Like I've got a half brother and 3 half sisters, so yeah, I get all that, and we all live logistically very close as well. So it's definitely cool if you can maintain that sort of thing. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and we're all into music and everything that we're all into now, Metaverse and NFTs and crypto and trading. So it's
definitely
cool
got
that
your
we
fingers
have,
in a lot of pies.
yeah, it's cool to have the trifecta to kind of bounce that stuff off of. And we have a couple family members that are kind of just starting to learn about this stuff, and how it is talking to people that don't really get hands-on with it yet. It's hard to understand a lot of it, so it's awesome that we have each other to kind of bounce off of for sure.
That is
Oh,
nice.
and it looks like he has made it back. You there, Left?
It was, I have like 1,001 tabs open, so, and I had the sound down. And then I'm like, oh, and I turned the sound up, and there's this crazy techno music that was just blaring at me, and I'm like, I can't figure out what tab it's coming from. Like I was just shutting down everything. So I'm like, I don't know if you guys could hear it or not. So I was like, I should probably jump out for a second and sort it. So I apologize for that.
I was telling Morecheeese before about your Halloween video. I remember at the time when you released that, and like that was one of my favorite events we've ever had in the Upland so far, was that first Halloween situation. I remember watching your video and just thinking, what the fuck is this shit? And then, but I probably watched it like 20, 30 times. And the more I watched it, the more I started enjoying it. I still didn't have a clue what the hell was going on, but I was having a lot of fun. Can you speak to that? I tried to find it for it, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I believe for those were the haunted house little videos that we were making, right? Okay, yeah. I believe that came from a music video that I made I don't know, forever ago.
Yeah, you had like a Mars. It looked like one of Mars's masks on, and there's like techno-y music going on, and you're doing this funky kind of creepy kind of singing. It was very bizarre. Lights going, and
that was I'll have to find you the full version of it, and I'll send it to you guys here. But it's I can't remember the name of it. That's our early weirdo song that I made. Well, not super early. There's earlier stuff than that Emmet can attest to. But this was kind of early techno stuff for me when I was making that kind of music. First started producing electronic music, I think. That's where that came
I remember one of my kids is like, Dad, what are you watching? I'm like, mate, I really have no idea.
Trying to figure it out. I don't know.
I do like art that's like that. I do like stuff that's puzzling and you have to figure it out, or is sort of more mood driven than analytically driven, I guess.
Yeah, because if I'm remembering it correctly, at the start of it, you weren't really in frame. You were kind of you might have been in the bottom left or something, and you slowly kind of popped into frame. It was very.
I think I might have slid up or from the side or something like that.
Yeah. It was something cool.
And it was just I don't know, made this song, and I was just in the. I think I was just learning how to edit video at the time too. So I was making a video a day. I was trying to just shoot something and cut it to one of my songs or whatnot, so I could just kind of get in and learn how to do some of these technical things. But I don't know. What was it? It was a bunch of static on a TV. I turned the lights off and kind of used the lights from the TV to.
There was a smoky vibe going on, and
yeah.
As somebody who's you're obviously very highly artistic and that sort of thing. And when we had that Halloween situation where you could visit the haunted house that was put on our property, and you could go in for that experience. I think a lot of us at the time had high expectations that was something that was going to be coming within the near future, displaying NFTs, displaying videos. I know for yourself, movies and that sort of thing. Here we are a year later, and what do we got?
You know what? It's funny. I don't know if I'm, and maybe you're like me a little bit, but since I've been in Upland for as long as I have, which is, I don't even know how long, which I know is not that long, but
April you've been in, I checked before, I had a check. April 2020.
That's when I got in, or you?
Officially.
No, I got in January 2020. You got in April.
All right. Yeah. All right. Okay. So I don't know. I feel like it's gotten somewhat hard to follow these days. It seems like there's either a lot of information or a lot of stuff that's kind of that comes out that I just don't find myself interested in, some of the daily flash challenges or this or that. So, but because of that, in a strange way, I feel like I've gotten more and more farther away from what is actually Upland right now and what's actually happening in the whole space of it all. But to talk about what you're speaking on, where is the Halloween announcement? Why aren't we getting that we should be making those videos type thing? Like you're saying, we're a year later, we can now move in NFTs into it, but we really can't do anything with them yet. I don't know. I think I'm waiting for for myself to get interested again. You know, like something needs to kind of come around the corner that's to lock me back into it.
And then
Or,
you've got all
some of these promises need to be delivered on. Like I want the stores to open up, I want just a little bit more functionality. But I say this like as a biased person, because I'm like, oh, I feel like I've been here a long time. And like, with a lot of focus on Upland, so that maybe, I don't know, maybe I need a slight break, or I've been sort of taking a slight break and hoping to like kind of come back around and be like, all right, this has got me excited. Chicago was like the last big excitement for me. Since then, I haven't like really like, oh, this or that, or, like I'm not a huge NFL guy. So that was like, oh, it's cool that these things are happening. And I like that the layers are coming, but I need more though, I think.
Well, there's two things. They have the new event. They're not doing the video for the Halloween thing, but they have something where you can dress up your block explorer in a sort of Halloween style thing. I haven't checked it out yet. I should check it out this weekend when I have some time, but
Yeah,
I'm not sure how difficult it's going to be. I know you could work with the moderators or designers to see how it can be implemented. I personally would have rather seen another Halloween video, to be honest.
It might come. This might be just the first, because that's what happened. The same thing happened last year. Is we had the dress up your block explorer, and I just resubmitted the one that T Davis did for me. I'm going to be very interested to see if it gets knocked back or if they go with it, because it's exactly what worked last year. So we'll see. But yeah, I think this is probably just the first.
A second thing I was going to say is, if you're having trouble in Upland and figuring things out, you are part of a really amazing team called the UDU. I know when I first messaged you, I'm like, hey, person from UDU I've never spoken to before ever. You want to come on our show?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. We have this spark train going on. I watch your show. I know that you mention your builds and that you want people to, help build with you and whatnot. And we have that. I created it. It's like a spark train, and we're doing like a UDU only spark train coming up. So if you have anything within our nodes, or you need anything in our nodes, I know Uplando has a nice section there. He can hook you up with some stuff, and we can, get
That's
some
cool.
stuff built for you.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. See, I mean, I love, that's the thing. There's all sorts of like little things, like little crews and people that are popping up and like creating these things, which I love. I think it's great. But for some reason, like I found myself like a little bit more convoluted. Like it's harder to find the information for me right now. And maybe that's just because there's so much coming at me from every direction right now. And we've got so many projects going on and stuff. So it's hard to like, to feel it, or to be up in Upland right now, or something like fully immersed. But like every day, like, I do the show and I'm always looking for something to talk about Upland. Like I want to like have more Upland in our show. It's called the Upland Action News. God dang it.
Well, that was one of the things I was going to ask. I see your thumbnails and that pop up. You're here, there, and everywhere. I mean, you're doing a show every day. Have you outgrown the name?
I don't know. I started adding the Upland Action NFT news to it, just so we can, because to try to explain to the folks maybe what the hell is going on a little bit. Because if you're coming in, you don't know what Upland is. I don't know. I mean, it's supposed to be a show for Upland. It is a show for Upland, but Upland is the NFT hub, or like the goal for Upland is to be like the best place in the world to buy, swap, sell, trade, interact with NFTs, right? So I feel like, exploring and trying to cover that as the entire space is like important information for all Uplanders.
Yeah, a lot of the people that we've spoken to, there's probably, I don't know, what would you say, Morecheeese? Maybe 75% of them say that they first came in via Upland. That was the kind of gateway drug.
Yeah.
And then they've expanded into all these projects.
I mean, my gateway drug was Alien Worlds, and then I kind of ceiling catted on a couple of people talking about Upland, and first thing I did was go check out the app, and all of the reviews on it were like, oh, this is garbage, this is bad, this and that. And I'm like, what the hell? And like, are these people just dumb or are they being legit? And I did my research and it turns out they were just dumb.
Yep.
There are dumb
Absolutely.
people out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so where are you right now when it comes to Alien Worlds? Are you still very much into it? And
I quit after the whole Binance thing.
yeah.
I sold everything. I was so angry. Took all my staked TLM out of Neri, and I was just dancing around in my wax because I transferred it in Alcor. I think I also left because they put me they blacklisted me. I would go on maybe 3 or 4 times a day and press collect. And so what I heard was they blacklisted a whole group of people within a certain area to narrow down all the bots, which is fine. But when I went into the Discord and I'm like, oh hey, I was one of the innocents, they're like, oh, you must have done something wrong. I was like, come on, man, why you have to do me dirty? So I stopped playing for
Yeah.
a couple of months, and then I talked to Colosimo, and he's doing stuff with them now. And since he's like a friend and he's in the area, I decided to give them a second chance. So I'm back
So you're
in
back.
it. I'm back
Yeah.
in it.
Well, that's
But
kind of
nothing's
like what I
fixed.
mean. That's like, so, well, I mean, your story's a little bit more aggressive than my Upland story, but it feels like it comes and goes and comes again or something like that. With Alien World, I didn't like it in the beginning. I just thought the art was terrible. I was like, I don't want these cards in my wallet. And then all of a sudden I'm doing it, and I'm like, all right, well, they've got the crypto monkeys, like in mine for monkey cards. All right, I'll jump in. And but I have, I'm trying to sell all my cards. I only have a few left that are valuable, but it just got to the point where I'm like, I don't want to go and push the button. I don't want to have to mine. I like the other, the R planets and these things that are like most of the other ones that are mining at all times. You don't have to like start that button. So I kind of got bored of hitting the button.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just bored of waiting, I guess. There's so
You
many
forget.
things that take your attention.
Exactly. Like all you need to do is see a few squirrels here and there, and like you
Yeah.
go a whole day without pressing the button.
Yeah.
That's kind of been the downfall of the UDU partly too, was we were chasing all these squirrels. It's only just now that we've kind of narrowed down our focus, and what are we actually focused on, what's important, and that sort of
Yeah.
thing. How about yourself,
what is
Emmet?
that? What is important to the UDU?
Oh, well, it's in the name. Upland
Yeah.
Development United, developing in
Yeah.
Upland. We started chasing all these big ideas and, we're going to do this, that, and the other thing. Well, it got totally away from what the core focus was. And we had all these people with big ideas come on board. And then, when the time come to put up, they were nowhere, crickets. So,
Yeah.
I was just saying, Emmet, what's got you most excited in the space? You're pretty quiet over there, slipping down.
Yeah, I mean, I think like brother's saying, there's a lot going on in the space for sure. I think just being in the space right now is kind of most exciting to me, because we were talking about it last night. We're creative people by heart for sure, and very passionate about that stuff. So when we go and kind of fall into these rabbit holes of looking at other projects on chains across the board, it's like it's rad to be able to kind of see what people are doing around you in the space, whether you know them or not. We've been able to reach out to people, and people just seem very receptive to get back to you and want to communicate about what's going on and just push the whole movement forward. So I'd say, like, overall, that has me up every night until 4 or 5 a.m., like whether I'm digging, looking at people's stuff, or whether that's got me like motivated to go and dive into my music or the NFT projects that we're working on, or, just just very happy and excited to be in this space, in this time. I feel like it's a very special time in history. You know, I feel like things are kind of things are changing here for the better of mankind, and it feels good to be a part on the ground floor. Yes, humankind.
Humankind.
Yes, yes.
Well, that leads me to a question to lead off of Ben's question. You guys have a show every day. Now, the selfish part of me is like, that's awesome. I have an hour or 2 hours out of my day to watch something cool, kind of take my mind off of stuff. At the same time, that's got to be incredibly draining on you.
It has both sides to it for sure. But yeah, I think part of what I was just saying, like seeing all of these projects and everything that's going on makes us kind of, it brings it out of us to want to come on and talk to these artists and these people developing games. And
it would feel weird now to not do it. You know, like I would miss not showing up. I would feel like I was missing something or something like that. It feels like it's
when we do miss a day, just one day for whatever it is, we're like, God damn, I feel like I missed a week or whatever, you know, like it feels like that for sure right now.
Yeah, we've been talking about that too. It's like we're trying to establish ourselves in the system, so we're just pivoting. We know this is at the cutting edge of the technology and that sort of thing, especially with you guys, where you're actively seeking out what the next best thing is. So it's a point of being at the pointy end and just, you know, is it a squirrel? Is it a pivot? I don't know, but it's kind of keeping up with the fast pace of how everything's progressing.
Well, getting into like the crypto space for myself, like back in 2017, it was, you know, our older brother kept yelling at us about it. And so then once I finally started looking at it and reading white paper after white paper, it just like all of these systems seemed backwards to the way that I was raised in this world, you know, and I was just blown away at like this, at everything that I was reading and seeing. And it took me a long time to kind of ingest it and understand it. But once I started to kind of see it and take it all in, you know, we have been like running like a bedroom label since 2005. Like LeftHouse was first a bedroom record label. And then like by 2010, we started like producing and putting out feature films. So it's always been sort of like a bedroom production house, you know? And that's where, when I found Upland, it was like, oh man, I really want to have a movie theater in this digital space that, you know, I can have an outlet to show the films that we've made. So that was my first like passion and first like mission in Upland, to sort that out. But you know, since I got into the space, like I've been waiting for the NFT thing is like boom, like basically for that tangible digital tangible item to show up, because it kind of like feels like it connects out all of the ideas, all of the creativity, all of the projects, music, film, art, like it all seems like it's coming together like right now, like in this time, in this space. And it's brilliant, you know, it's blowing me away. But at the same time, it's exciting because it's like I knew this was coming. I knew that we'd be here. So the idea of like continuously like exploring into other projects and what can an NFT do, I think is important and crucial. Like as an Uplander, as if you're like, no, I don't want to know about that stuff. All of that stuff is important because it's all going to change the way Upland works. You know, like it's all feeding itself, each other. And I think that to not pay attention to it is like shooting yourself in the foot a little bit.
Yeah, Morecheeese has kind of got me thinking in that direction too. There's a lot of things that have come up with Upland, and I've said, it's a load of shit. I've got no interest in that. And she's always saying, yeah, don't look at what the specifics of that are. Think about the underlying, you know, what that's building.
Yeah.
Am I correct in remembering that you've actually released a movie onto an NFT? Is that correct?
Yeah. I've definitely put a couple of our features on NFT. I gave a couple of copies of a movie called Everything Will Happen Before You Die away at our Christmas party. And then I've made one copy of a movie called Sick of It All That's like the last feature that we made. And I was kind of using that as like, if you showed up to the Clay Theater in Upland, which is the movie theater property that I own and kind of run as the movie theater. And I was sort of running it through the Discord. Like if you showed up at the theater, I could see you on the registry, right? So then like if your name was the same in Discord, then I would send you like a link to the film, or, you know, some NFTs or whatnot, you know, posters, stuff like that. And so I'm going to reopen this movie theater again and get it up and running. I have a page for it on the website. Like, I mean, if you go there and you want to see a movie, I'll make it happen. But, you know, like the mechanics and the technology always just kept changing. So I was like, oh, what if I do it like this? Oh, you can do this now. Like, and then I just get to the point where I started focusing on like Metaverse and all these other things and getting the LeftHouse, the Action Family Club card together. So it's like, it's, you know, like there's a list that revolves around of things that I'm always trying to tend to, but that's on the list.
Yeah, I remember there was oh, sorry, go ahead, Morecheeese.
I have some questions about your Upland Family Action card. So I have a lot of them, and I want you to kind of talk about it a bit and see if you like get to any of the stuff I want to ask you, and if not, I'll just ask you it afterwards. So
all right, cool. So yeah, so you got a bunch of them. That's cool. Thank you very much for jumping in like that. That's awesome. So like okay, if you were just holding one of the Action Family Club cards, it would give you you know, access to certain things in the LeftHouse ecosystem. You know, it gets you into the Discord in certain rooms. If you're holding 5, 10, 15, like those are different sort of increments of like percentages that you will be rewarded from this rewards pool from all LeftHouse collections. So like when we have this movie coming up that we release at the end of the year, beginning of the year, like there's a pool that you being a holder of as many as you are, you will get like rewards from that, from this payout pool, if you will, from our films. We have another collections that's starting to release this month called the Dyslexic 95. So like you'll get a percentage payout rewards from that. Every collection that LeftHouse has going forward, like if you're an Action Family Club card member, you're going to participate in the rewards there. Later today on the Upland Action News, we're going to release a Google form that will, if you're holding these cards, you'll sign up. It's to submit one of your cards to our new animation series, which is called Action Family Matters. So you'll submit your card. We're going to ask you to like write down some traits, some special skills. We're going to create these resume cards. You're going to be able to like get this pack with a few of different cards in it. You'll have to pick one of these traits with your action cards and submit it to the audition. And if your dude gets picked or dudette gets picked, then when we release the animation, you'll get paid out for being the actor in that episode. And there's going to be sort of like a star system. Like one of your character could become like a star within the whole like system, you know, like if it gets chosen more than once. Soon we're kind of building a fun little game around it all. So we're trying to do like lots of things like that. Like any other collections and things that we are working with, we want to try to help provide discounts. Any of the collections that we release will also get you discounts and freebies and stuff like that. We really want to try to take care of the people that are holding the Action Family Club cards. As soon as we hit certain sellout points, like once we hit the 25% sellout of the card, that'll unlock certain things. We'll put a reserve into like the Action Family Club card community wallet, and we'll start, you know, asking the community like, which cards do you want us to buy for you guys to win for giveaways and stuff like that. The giveaways are going to change. You're going to have to basically be a club carrying member to get in on the giveaways. We'll probably do like 1 or 2, maybe 1 public giveaway. Like Crypto Monkey Friday will probably stay open to the public, but you know, we're going to try to we think that this card should kind of tighten the crew, lock it down, and I feel like in time people will start to understand like the reward system from it, and like and see what the value is in the card, especially once we start to release this next feature film that we've got. I think people will get really excited by LeftHouse and the whole project.
Speaking of feature films, I think I tagged you on Twitter recently, where going back to that whole videos, films on NFTs, there was an episode of Chris Jericho's podcast where he was banging on about, what is an NFT. He was explaining it to the kind of the people who didn't have a clue, and he started talking up this project. I believe, I don't know if it's Kevin Smith, but it was somebody of that kind of nature, where he was working with him, and they were going to release the very first movie on an NFT. And like, actually, you might want to speak to this guy called LeftHouse.
Yeah, there was some article that came out that was claiming they were the first film, and I was on the show just like, nope, just being a jerk about it. But I did see that Kevin Smith thing that released a film. So I saw that article. Maybe it was because you sent it to me, but there was some pretty interesting things in there. Some things that I had thought of that I wanted to do as well. Like there'll probably be like a small, maybe like 3 or 4 of these NFTs in existence for the film, but it'll be more of like an executive producer's like ownership NFT. And so if you hold that, like you basically are an owner of the movie and have the capability to resell it, rescreen it, do all the things that you would do as an owner of a film. So yeah, we definitely want to do things like that, add levels and layers to it.
Going back to what I was talking about before that changed the subject. The cartoon series that really got me interested. Are you able to talk about it in any way? Like, what are the layers of it? What is it about? What will it be about?
I'm thinking the way that we're sort of seeing them right now is like they'll probably be like, a minute or 2, sort of short and sweet. The first episode is going to be like a Halloween special,
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah, so we're like, we're gonna try to release it in the last week of October. So yeah, like today we're gonna put out some, the forms and stuff, get things going, get you guys submitting, and then we'll be off to the races.
Start casting
right away, immediately.
If your NFT is chosen and your character is chosen, will the person holding the NFT have an ability to voice act, or is it just their NFT?
No, they have the ability to voice act, but we're like also giving you the option to not voice act if you're like, hell no, I don't want that responsibility, or I don't have the technicals for it, or whatever. You know what I mean? We've thought about that, but yeah, we definitely want people to participate in that way if they're down for it. So
that's pretty awesome. I
Makes
like
it
that.
Fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
and
it should get pretty silly.
So you said you get a cut of the NFT sales of the episode. Now I remember you did like the tier system. If you hold 1 card, you get to have some perks. In order for that perk, you need to have 3 or more cards, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that sounds
but
good.
Not for the animation though, like you only need to hold 1, you know what I mean? Because you're only going to be able to submit 1 of your cards. So if you're holding more than, you're just going to be able to submit 1 per episode. So you can change, you'll have, if you have a bunch, you have like a little stable of actors, then you can switch out your actors for each audition if you want. And the resume cards with the traits and the special skills and stuff like that, you'll keep those, or you'll be able to trade them with other people or whatever you want to do. But like, you'll be able to use those for the next audition, so the more you have, the more traits and skills you might have. We'll like probably start like saying what the theme is or something like that. And then you have to sort of like pick which traits you want to represent or bring to the audition, from your resume cards, so for example, what was one of the things that we put on there? I'm blanking right now. There's some weird ones on there, but yeah, you'll see it later in the day. But I'm totally blanking right now. But try to give an example of
So
what
we
it
get to
might be
create our
like.
own traits, or we have to pick from like a specified.
There are multiple choice as well as like an other spot, so if you don't like the choices that are there, like one of them is like, what is your action family characters like personality or whatnot, and it might be like Tom Cruise, Dave Chappelle, Miley Cyrus, like different like names like that, and then
Oh,
other,
that's cool.
something
I
like that.
that.
So if you don't like one of the choices, but that, yeah. So and also
Special
too, there's
skills.
like special skills is catchphrases. So then
Yeah.
you can pick one of the catchphrases, but the thing is too, like, even though like you're filling out these form and choosing these catchphrases and whatnot, that doesn't necessarily mean that this is the ones that you're going to get. And if you add like something in the other, that doesn't mean that you might get, somebody else might get your other, if you will, you know what I mean? Like might end up with that trait.
All right.
Yeah. It should, yeah. I think the form will explain a little bit more when we release that later, and then yeah, we'll be discussing and answering questions as we move towards this. We're making it up as we go, this one a little bit. Like every time I sit down to work on it, I go, what about that? Like a new idea pops into my mind. So, but yeah, I think it'll be a fun one.
And it's built to evolve, with
Yeah.
the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now going back to the movies and the NFT thing, is there any way to view this? Like, is it in the marketplace right now that I can just kind of?
Yeah, I think you can find, I mean, I actually know I have the copy of Sick of It All, so I could send you links to that. I can, and I just, I think we're going to do a screening of Everything Will Happen Before You Die. I know we are, for the Action Family Club card carrying members.
Oh,
And there are like some NFTs that are being like created right now in and around for that film, for that screening, that will be dropped on the family members. And some of these things will do things. Some of all of the LeftHouse NFTs like might be one thing at one time, and then the use case could potentially change for some of these things down the line. We do have some ideas and things in the works. It's really nice, like now that the team is kind of sort of built up a little bit more. It's really awesome working with the Panda Man, H Pandanoid, Wilson Fisk, and Vis
cool
Nimerus.
I love them
and
both,
of course,
yeah.
Mars Utah and Rico Ricoyer and the Metaverse boys it's like awesome having a team of creative, kind folks that you actually enjoy chatting with and being around and stuff, to help work on all of these things and to help them work on their projects as well. It's cool. It's been fun. Thank you, Upland. You know what I mean? So many, like you were saying, so many people and projects have come out of Upland. So many, like lots of the guests that come on our show, they have that same story. Like, well, we met in Upland and then we started this, and so it's insane what Upland has done for the community.
Yeah.
I think.
Speaking of guests, how do you go about selecting your guests for your show? Like you do a show every day. You must have had some big hits, like some great shows. You must have had some really, really questionable ones as well, I would imagine. What's your process?
Yeah. Oh God. How do we find the guests? It just seems to be an evolving sort of thing. I'll if I'm looking at a project, or if I end up getting into something on the east side or the wax side, whatever I'm looking at, every day I'm looking at, I'm just looking for new releases and new things that are out there. And I usually just will write to them, and, I would say 50-50, half the people write back and they're excited to kind of come on the show. And some people don't write back, but yeah, I'm just fearless. I'll hit up anybody and ask them to be a guest. And so that's it. Yeah, it just kind of works that way. But I don't really like, lots of times people they're like, do you have a format or questions, or like they want to know what we're going to talk about? And it's like, no, we're just really, really kind and usually pretty positive and just want to help promote people's stuff, and I'm just making it up as we go, just like a normal conversation.
Yeah,
And
that's kind of how we started off at the Wine and Cheese show. We had a list of kind of talking points almost. I don't think we used it once. It's definitely better to just make it up as you go along.
Yeah, I think we're doing it every day anyway, so might as well just keep it fresh, keep it natural.
Just exercising that muscle, I suppose.
Yeah.
People never really get the sorry. But I'm just gonna say people never really get the opportunity to talk about themselves. They're always in this world talking about somebody else. So it's nice to give people that opportunity to kind of like talk about themselves. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Emmett.
absolutely.
Yeah, and like now that we've, brother's been running it for a while and had some additions come on, and some of the guests have come back on now a few times, and it's cool to see the growth of these projects and partnerships and things that have come out of it. It's super, super fun to be a part of.
Or like yesterday, we had a guy on named Brad Goss, and I just found him because he made these cereal boxes called Murder Clowns, and I just thought they were really cool, funny NFTs. And so we ended up like looking them up while we were live on the show, and found like he has all these like weirdo children's books that are like, they're really funny, and he's just like he reads these weird dark little children's stories to his community. So we had him reading some of them yesterday on the show, and like, he was one of my favorite guests that we've had recently. Just like a real interesting dude, like who found NFTs, who's definitely like utilizing the space, utilizing like the technology, and it's exciting to see other people like figuring something out and like finding their little corner of the world and making something go with it.
Making it their own, exactly.
Yeah.
I bought 3 of his books. I bought some of his NFTs. They're hilarious. When he smiles, he kind of has a young, evil Bill Murray vibe to him. I don't know if you noticed that, but it must be the cheekbones, the shape of the face. I don't know. But I mean, that's a good thing for a comedian, that you kind of have a resemblance of somebody so iconic.
I want him to come on the show again. I thought he was a legend. Yeah, super, super cool.
And then you hear and see his TikTok numbers and his Twitter follower numbers, and you're like, whoa, 750,000 TikTok.
And he's only been doing it for like a short time, like a year or something like that, year or two or less or something. It was like, good on Brad.
I don't know who the.
Yeah, super rad.
He was interesting. I was actually nervous. I know I told Ben, I'm like, I'm gonna watch the show to see if there's any damage control. But
it's just like, he seems like some kind of creepy clown. He's doing all this weird shit with kids.
Yeah,
don't really know what you're getting into, but
well, when we stumbled into like started to research him when we were live on the show, I felt that same way. Like, oh no, like maybe this guy's crossing the line. And then I looked into the level. I'm like, no, he's not crossing the line. I'm an idiot.
He's intentionally crossing the line.
He was basically just telling stuff that happens in real life, but in a kind of ironic, funny story way.
So good.
Yeah,
so good. We have like a guest coming on next week from it's on the east side of things. They're called the Kingsmaker, and it's like an NFT project that like the first batch they were like minting for free, but it's like there's something like 100 clues that need to be solved, and the community is going to need to work together to make this happen. And there's only going to be one winner, and they're giving away like 6 ETH to that winner and like all of these other prizes along the way. And there's like a certain character that people are trying to find within the collection. And there's like, it's like a sword and a stone type lore type thing. You have 3 guesses per NFT a day to try to like solve these clues. And that's exciting to me. I haven't seen somebody utilizing all these little mechanics in the project. So I'm excited to see what they have to say, and hear them talk about it. And that was like, as soon as I found that one and like got into it, and I reached out to him right away. And I was like, you guys got to come on the show, talk about this.
I want to ask you a question. You had mentioned before that you thought the Alien World NFTs weren't as pretty as they should be. Yeah. Do you really look for looks in regards to a utility NFT, because for me, I feel like anything with utility is not really art. Like I look at some of these things and they're horrendous.
Right.
Not to be mean, but I mean the only ones that I've really seen that have utility and are beautiful are the Ashiki Errata cards from Errata Digital. I really enjoyed the Tales of the Crypto cards. I feel like they put a lot of effort into it. There's some people who put a great deal of effort into it, but my point is, like, if they're doing this as a game, do they really need to concentrate on that as much? Because then I see these ones with the and I'm so sorry, CryptoPunks, like you're probably nice people, but I just can't
You're going to talk
understand.
about you're going to talk about that computer generated one where it's just a generic thing and they're putting like layers onto it basically.
Yeah, if it's pretty, if it's something that is artsy and is something that I can look at and genuinely see beauty and whatnot, but it's basically a head.
Cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Cookie
Yeah,
cutter
it's
is.
like a head with maybe an earring in one and maybe a hat in another, and
Yep.
I can't.
Well, it's like I don't know. I mean, I have a couple of thoughts on this. It's like what you should make like, okay, so utility and art, if you can have both and they can both be beautiful, then why not make them both beautiful? Like if you know, like why not? Like the whole crypto punks, like the whole digital, like sort of art craze movement type thing, like it definitely is like I don't love it either, you know. I don't love it, but I think I kind of understand like the celebration of it, in the sense that, like, you know, digital art has been sort of not taken seriously for a very, very long time, or ever, you know, until maybe now, you know. And so the idea of like these first like digital sort of like bare minimum sort of like art pieces, like I think that's the idea. Like I think it's like there's something to, like, this was the original sort of like thing, and so it's kind of like getting its like celebration moment, like, or something like that. I feel like there's something to that, but in the end, like let's try to make everything really beautiful. I think, you know, try to push the boundaries and on both sides of the NFT. I think on all sides of it, you know, from the aesthetics to the use case.
Do you think that's kind of holding that kind of cookie cutter approach that's pretty much getting a lot of the publicity and a lot of it's speculative, you know, hype and that sort of thing? Do you think that's holding back traditional digital artists? Like, I've talked about this a few times. I've got a great friend that I've worked previously with in game development, and he's just like an incredible artist and like super creative guy. But I can imagine, like, if he was looking into the space, not to speak for him, but I can imagine him thinking, well, this is just all shit. It's just nonsense. Do you think it's that kind of cookie approach is kind of holding back the artistic side of things?
Yeah, I think probably so on some level. Like, even like just like wax to ETH. I feel like if you're more of an artsy person, you might, I don't know if I want to put my NFTs on wax, you know, because there isn't a whole lot of high end art or whatnot. I mean, it's starting to show up more and more, but you know, it seems like all the high end $1 million art is over on the ETH side of things or whatnot. So it might be easier for some hoity-toity artist to go that way than that way, or something like that. Something that's my guess.
I'm a wax for life girl.
Did you say facts of life, girl?
Wax for life.
Wax for life.
I take the bad, I take them both, and there you have the wax of life.
Yeah.
But see, so now I don't like crypto punks, but then I'm a part of something called Roman punks, which is similar, but you could tell it's like you could tell differences. You could see the beauty in it, where, all right, it is a cookie cutter, but it's a well done cookie cutter.
Yeah.
And like, that's all I'm asking for. Like, just do something that puts in a bit of effort. Don't just make like the same shape face, because they don't have the same shape face. They have like different shapes, different this, different that, and
Yeah.
I even own some of them. I own a few of them because I like to look at them. But yeah, so it's like it's so weird because you have the CryptoPunks and you have the Roman punks, and then one of them is really nice to look at, and the other one is just like, eh.
Well, you know, there's teams out there right now as we speak thinking, okay, let's do lizards. Hang on a minute. Oh shit, somebody's already done lizards. Let's do koalas. Oh fuck, somebody's done that. They're just looking for something to latch onto.
Yeah, or
So
or it's like, oh, let's
contact
do
me.
koalas. Oh fuck, somebody already did koalas. Well,
Yeah.
we'll do drunk koalas.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
we'll do bored koalas. Yeah.
Koalas and leather.
No, I mean, I just recently stumbled across a punks collection that is like supposedly like the original collection, but they've taken that one like oil paint preset and Photoshop and oil paint, like turned them all into little mini oil painting faces or whatnot.
Bare minimum effort.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good. It's all good. You know, I just hope that
it's an interesting time for technology and art to come together, and it's cool to see. You know, we had the expansion punks come on, and they built out this crazy explorer, and their punks are like siblings to the originals, and the derivatives that are starting to show up. You know, I think when you see some of them that have maybe it's like original team members that are releasing these derivative projects and stuff, I feel like those are the ones that kind of do interest me for sure over kind of the cookie cutter stuff that just seems to be like trying to follow the hot trends at the moment. But yeah, I think technology and art coming together through all this, you know, like art meeting blockchain and smart contracts and AI it's an interesting time for sure for those worlds to come together.
Nice. Now, Left, you had an artist spotlight very early on within the Upland. Can you speak to that a bit? There's a few people might have, you know, they're joining us now who that was all before their time almost.
Right. Yeah, no, it was cool. They had asked if I wanted to do this little art thing. And so I mean, I did block. I have 3 block explorers that are floating around in the game that they held an auction for. They were auctioned off, and I made little video pieces with like a little voiceover narration kind of explaining the piece a little bit. And it was just kind of, it's super like a dream come true to get, like, you know, to be a part of a video game, to have some of my own art in the game. And it was cool because I've ran into one of my pieces like once on the board or whatnot. I'm like, oh, that's there it is right there. And, you know, somebody was cruising by. Yeah.
Was one of them Dark Bunny? Was that yours? Because Scooby, we talked to Scooby last week from Icon, and he was talking about Dark Bunny.
No, I have there's a dark rabbit and a white rabbit, and then I did a bear and a bull and a golden llama. So those are the 5 that are floating around out there that I did. And Mars Utah did like the artist spotlight like the month or 2 before me, and he also had made some Block Explorer pieces that are out there floating around.
Yeah, well. I remember I put a bid in for one of Mars's, but the prices just went crazy. I'm like, whoa! And this is way back when there wasn't a lot of people at the time who were willing to spend $1 million on a property, let alone a Block Explorer.
Right? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Mars's stuff was very sought after. He's the best. He's so good.
Now, what can you tell us about the Left token?
The Left token, well, it's an ERC20 token, and you know, we sort of launched it right when the whole gas prices went to hell. So then, like, it kind of put a lot of our ideas on hold for the token, but now we're kind of getting back to the focus of that, and we're building like a staking system for it. We're trying to figure out some cross-chain type stuff for it, and hopefully, you know, next year we're hoping to have a little bit more use cases and functionality with the token, but we're definitely trying to build it in for the Action Family Club card members. Like once the staking system's set up, they'll probably be, you guys will be the first people in to be able to use it and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, the whole idea was to try to create a token and a project that was to help other filmmakers and musicians and artists and people with their own projects and grow a community that that helps each other with that as well. And you know, like Kate kind of is what I wanted LeftHouse to be. And so since Kate is sort of doing a lot of what I wanted it to be, like I don't want to do exactly the same thing. So we're trying to like pivot and sort of build things that are slightly different, but like kind of in that same vein. You know, it's a community token. It's a token that we want to be able, that we want artists to use to help their projects. That's the idea.
All right. So I have a few more questions before we can wrap this up.
Cool.
Ben is giving me the old
I gotta head to the beach.
head to the
Yeah.
beach. I can't.
No,
do
we
an
got to head to
Australian
the
accent.
Upland Action News for
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Friday. So yeah.
All right. So real quick, what's your favorite NFT collection besides Metaverse?
Wow. I feel like I'm a man without a home right now. I've been trying to figure out where's my jam. I'm really, for some reason, I don't know why I keep like thinking about coin pirates, and I'm waiting for that one. I really kind of like want to get out on the open sea and steal some tokens and NFTs from other players. I want to see what that's like.
All right.
So I'm excited for that one. Jesus, I don't know. I like them all. I'm, you know, trains of the century. I'm a big trains guy, so I'm always like got my eye on that one, on that project.
Chains of the Sun.
God, I don't know. I love the Action Family Club cards. Actually, that's probably my favorite
There you
collection
go.
right now. I can stare at those dudes forever. Like they're so fascinating, and they start scary and then they become warm in my heart.
Warm in your
So,
heart.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm all over the place right now.
Are you planning on going on Immersi? I know Metaphor. I read that Metaphors will you be going there with your card and advertise and whatnot?
Yeah, I want to. I've got the PC laptop just recently, and but I haven't spent too much time on it yet. But yeah, I've got a boarding pass. If I don't do it this weekend, I'm gonna cut off my pinky toe. I got to go in there and check it out.
And just FYI, I have an extra boarding pass if anyone wants to borrow it. They airdropped extras to those holdings. So if Emmett, you don't have one and you want to go in with your brother, I'll be more than happy to send you my extra. I know Ben, he's pretty busy nowadays. He kind of gave me the cold shoulder. So I'll send that over to you. You guys want to play together. And last but not least, do you play non-crypto games, i.e. like console or computer?
I used to, but now I sort of like I kind of don't want to play anything that doesn't I can't earn off of anymore. It just seems like a waste of time. I used to play a lot of solitary on my phone, and I beat all the missions that they had given me. And the last one was win 500 games. And I was like, all right, cool. So I just started kind of going, and then I did the mistake of looking at my stats, and I had played that game for over 2 weeks of my life. And so I was like, once I hit 500, I'm going to retire from playing solitary. And so I did that years ago. I haven't played since.
That has missions. That simple card game has missions.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not making fun of you.
No.
Maybe a little bit. So like stuff like Far Cry 6.
It's okay. I deserve it.
Far Cry 6 just came out yesterday. Like I tell myself that all the time. I'm not making anything out of this, but I'm a big gamer. I'm playing the new Amazon game, New World, the MMO RPG. So none of that, like no first person shooter.
No, not so much. I mean, like, I sort of like talk about getting a PlayStation 4 or whatever, just so I can get the UFC game. But I had it before, and it just ruins my life, you know, because all I'm doing is that. And usually, whatever I get myself into, like, I have to turn it into a profession, you know, or I have to turn it into part of the career. Like the UFC, being a fight fan. like that ended up, me and Emmett started doing the Fight Report MMA. We did like, which was sort of what became the Upland Action News. We used to do like coverage or like a fake fight news show, a comedy news show. And some of the stylings kind of transferred into the action news a little bit. But yeah, I if I get into something, I usually turn it into work somehow.
All right. Do you like Rocky Horror Picture Show?
In concept, yes, but I went one time and I started to try to scream out my own lines, and they did not like that. The audience did not like that.
They didn't like
You have
that.
to stay traditional with that one. I realized, so I backed away, let them stay. I stayed in my lane, but I wanted to let's have a new Rocky Horror where you can make up new stuff, because what's the point if you're saying the same stuff? I want to be, you know what I mean? I want a fresh show every time. It's impossible what I'm asking for. I know.
There's a lot to unpack there. We will have to follow up with a part 2 for sure, because we didn't even get to talk about metaphor stuff in much detail or anything like that. So
yeah, it's true.
We'll
I'd be happy to
follow
do
up
part
with you
2.
guys.
Yeah, definitely. We'll come back and have some wine and cheese whenever.
Yeah, I'm going to watch the show over and motivate myself to, because every show I create an NFT that kind of has to do with the show. Me and Ben have a sort of idea of what we want to do. I'll show it to you. You have to approve it. I won't put anything out there that nobody doesn't like, but
awesome.
Yeah, and you'll get mint number 1.
Cool.
And 2.
And 2.
Cool. And then we'll arm wrestle.
You can duke it out to see who gets the 1 and who gets the 2.
Perfect. Love it. Well, thank you guys so much for having us on and for the chat and everything. Super fun.
Thanks for coming over.
No worries.
Yeah, I'd love to do it again.
Go ahead, get your pinky up. Talk wine and cheese, motherfucker. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Talk wine and cheese, motherfucker. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up.
G'day sickos, drop some lyrics from the Time Warp song from the Rocky Horror Picture Show in the comments and you have a chance to win a Morecheeese NFT. Later.
Fire, samurai, ride on a dingo, flying through the sky. Cheese in the house, get off your ride. Hit you with the hairbrush, hit you with the knife. Eagle and fire, samurai, ride on a dingo, flying through the sky. Hit you with the knife. Flying through the sky, eagle and fire, samurai. Riding on a dingo, flying through the sky. Cheese in the house, get off the ride. Hit you with the hairbrush, hit you with the knife. Eagle and fire, samurai. Riding on a dingo, flying through the sky. Hit you with the knife. Flying through the sky.